All right. Hello, Pit Nation. Big Johnson coming at you. What we're doing is I'm fixing to kick off a fire to burn these out. So what I'm doing is I've got my B&B charcoal, and I'm going to fire up the Weber. This is to get it seasoned, to get all the shipping gunk out of it, all that good stuff. So, and I've got my chimney. So I'll show you how I start a chimney. Now, I usually use the Weber chimneys. My other one is at my dad's house, but it's old and rusted anyway, so I picked up one. And it's actually not a Weber. It's an Outdoor Gourmet. It's some Academy brand, but looking at the construction of it, it actually looks just like a Weber. So I don't know who makes it, but I'm gonna show you how I get a fire going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start over here, and I've just got a little piece of mesquite right here. Y'all can probably see that. Little piece of mesquite, and then this, I'll show you what it is. These are all natural. They're non-toxic, no flare-ups. They're B&B fire squares, so there's no chemicals in there, if y'all can see that. But these are like $5 for like 24 pieces. So what I do is I kind of set it, and the reason is, and it'll be hard to show here, but you'll see there it has kind of like a little bottom on it. So you're going to kind of set it just like right over the top. So you want the height. So that's why I use a piece of wood. You can use a shot glass. This is a metal shot glass. You can use different things, to get your correct height. But this one will work fine. So basically, what you do is you just light this. Kind of get it going. It is windy out here too. And then you just set this over there. And it'll actually, kind of start. You can just monitor it. You'll see some smoke come out of it and stuff like that. But that's basically how you start your fire, or how you get your coals going without lighter fluid. I am not a lighter fluid fan. So when you'll see the smoke coming out, it'll start from the bottom. If you noticed under there, it's kind of, I guess, angled up. So your flame hits, kind of burns the center, and then starts, oh man, that smell is awesome. Good, good, good. But just kind of starts, spreading your fire around. And like I said, I'm just doing this to burn out. So I'll be making 2 chimneys stacks. You just kind of fill them all the way up. I'll be running one in the Weber and go ahead and burn this custom one out. But that's basically all you do. Super simple. And I've noticed being out here later in the afternoons, right now it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, but later in the afternoons, I can't run my camera out here because it's just way too hot. So it tends to shut off. If you saw my last video, at the very end, it just shut off because of heat. But you can see the fire took. That's what it'll do when your coals are actually ashed. If you know what I'm talking about, they're kind of a gray, gray look to them. That's when you can pour them in the basket. So I'll be running one whole chimney in the Weber kettle, and I'll be running another chimney in this one just to kind of burn it all out. And then I am going to be cooking later this afternoon or this evening. So the good thing about this also is when you do this, I'm going to open both of these completely up, let them run hot to burn everything out. But then after that, you can close them off to shut your pits down. And any leftover charcoal, like if there's good chunks in these baskets, you can shake them. All your ash will fall out, but your good chunks will stay, and you can actually reuse those. So you'll just keep them in your basket, kind of even them out, then make another chimney, dump it on top of it, and it'll reignite your old coals, or your old briquettes after you're going. A lot of people have asked why I prefer B&B. it is a larger briquette. It's a little chunky boy. They're all even, so it does give you more even cooking. Also, you really have to be cautious. Some of these charcoal briquettes have chemicals in them, and some are actually made with like just shit they find. Not necessarily wood, sawdust, or anything like that. It's just shit they find, like fillers, and they pack it in there. So it actually can be kind of toxic when you smell some of the smoke that's coming out of it. Some of it smells like bleach, and there is a brand. I'm not here to bash anybody. I just have my preferences. I really prefer B&B. Sometimes you can't find it at certain places, but like Ace Hardware, from what I understand, over the whole United States, if you want B&B and it's not in your area, you can go to an Ace Hardware and they can actually order it for you and ship it to that store free of charge. I don't know if that's true. However, also if you have Academies, it's found at Academy. I think maybe Home Depot carries it, but I just really like B&B. But it's all a preference. Some people like Royal Oak. Some people like different things. Whatever you're getting, I would prefer, if it were me, I would read it and see if it's more natural, like hardwoods, things like that. This is actually oak, so it's competition oak charcoal briquettes. They call it Texas style, but it seems to work really well for me. As y'all know, I haven't used this pit in a long time. The Weber is new. I have used B&B in the past, even over at my dad's house on my offset and stuff like that, and it works really, really well. And I do like the taste of it. Also, the chimney versions, like what I'm doing right here, and the way to light this, that way you don't get any lighter fluid taste. And a lot of people are like, oh, you can't taste that lighter fluid. I actually can. If you've been barbecuing for a long time, you can actually taste it, and it's not a good taste. A lot of people who do it all the time, they're just used to it. But when you taste no lighter fluid and then a lighter fluid cook, you can actually taste it. I'm going to be doing some steaks tonight. So what I also do is I use the B&B. Now this is the mesquite. You can buy these bags of wood chunks. Some of them are small, some of them are big. I'll show you a couple of examples. There's a big, huge chunk. That thing's a big boy. That's like if you're going to do a really long smoke, and you can actually break this up so you can see the split there. I can actually just snap that. And then here's your little pieces. Now, the thing about mesquite, a lot of people don't like mesquite because they think it's a spice wood. But when you're cooking steaks, I love mesquite. My preferred wood, and I do have it, is pecan. Pecan to me, is the best all around, for chicken, fish, all these different kinds of things. But if you're wanting like a Texas taste, a Texas steak, I do prefer mesquite. Some people don't, but I do. Some people say it's too spicy, or it's, it has a twang. To me, there's nothing like a good mesquite cooked steak. So I will add, even this is, oak briquettes, I will add some mesquite chunks, maybe just a few small ones. Because like I said, it's not going to be like a 6-hour cook. We're cooking fillets. So I think they are about 1.5 inches thick, I believe. I haven't measured them, but you'll see. And also, I've brined them overnight, so you'll see the before and the after of the brining. And what brining is basically is you rub them down with, or pat them down with kosher salt on both sides. And they were really big and, kind of a brownish color. Well, once it absorbs all that moisture with the salt, they'll kind of shrink up a little bit, tighten up, and then they kind of turn like a bright red. But you'll be able to see the difference. So I do that overnight with the kosher salt. Then I pull them out, even sometimes like 30 minutes to an hour, to let them rest. They do not have to be room temperature, but I do like to let them rest, set, I guess, if you want to say that. And then I'll actually season them up. I'll put my normal seasoning on it, even though I've put the brine on it or the kosher salt. I will normally season them up, just like I didn't put the salt on it. And do the sides and everything. These are wrapped in bacon, so bacon's pretty salty. So I did not salt the sides. But I will season the sides. So you just let this go. It'll go for, 5, 7, 10 minutes. If I look down in there, I bet there's a pretty good little fire, because it's definitely smoking. Yep, I can see the coals. I don't know how well you can. I'm going to try to get you a shot down there. You can see the coals starting to pipe right down there, and then it'll just kind of spread up, and that's the way it works. And like I said, I'm strictly doing this to burn the pits out, because it's been I haven't cooked on the new Weber yet that y'all saw in the video, and if you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. And then this custom one, I'm just burning it out just to burn it out. But I will be using the Weber tonight with the S&S Slow and Sear and the S&S grill. I will not be using the water reservoir because I'm doing steaks, so this way I can just have a larger searing area. Probably doing a reverse sear to where I cook it in the cold or the cooler section, the 2-zone cooking, where I cook it in the cooler section and then do a final sear at the end. I'm not going to sear them first and then cook them. Probably do the reverse sear this time, and you can do it either way, whatever way you prefer. And a full bag of charcoal, like I was explaining, in this basket right here, that goes on the side. A full thing of charcoal will fit in there. And a lot of people, when they take these off, they actually make a game out of it to where they don't rip it. And I did it just to show you. I didn't show it on video, but actually you kind of just piece it all out, rip one side, so you're not tearing any of this. Some people get a kick out of not destroying it. And you can see it was removed perfectly. Look at that. Removed perfectly. No tears. So some people get a kick out of that. It's like a little barbecue thing. Sometimes I'll just rip them wide open with a knife. So it doesn't really matter to me. But anyway, you just kind of let this go. And this is part of barbecuing. But this way you're not using any chemicals, lighter fluids, anything like that. So, and later on when I do a cook, I'll probably bring a drinky poo out and, maybe sit outside. We might, or probably sit outside once it's a lot cooler. Like I said, it's like 9:30 here, and it's already, damn, it already feels like it's 85 degrees. I'm honestly surprised my camera hasn't shut off yet, but anyway, I am rambling, so I'll be chilling out here this evening. But this is how you do a fire. And you'll notice also, once it completely ignites, you'll have less smoke. But that is not toxic smoke, just so you know. It's just smoke. That's what it does. But there's no lighter fluid, no chemicals, no nothing in this setup. So this is the way I like to do it. But there's 1,000 different ways, and you choose the way you choose to. But B&B's not paying me or anything like that. I'm just a big proponent of their products. So, and going out and buying like cut wood or splits, for like offset smokers. That's one reason I don't have one. I don't want to stock cords of wood all over my yard like I do at my dad's house. We've got mesquite out there, we've got pecan, and we've got oak. So there's probably, man, there might be like 2.5 cords of wood out there. And part of that was also for the big smoker. We used to have an 18-foot smoker, competition smoker. Sold that, and now we actually still do have a lot of that wood left. But and in my offset that's over there, it's much smaller. I mean, it's not a monster offset. Matter of fact, I really wish it had a bigger box, firebox. But it was a custom-made pit too. It's just really heavy, and that's one reason it's not over here. Not saying I won't get another offset, but I probably won't bring that offset over here. If I do get an offset, it'll be one with maybe some actual real tires so I can roll it, because I've got an incline coming into my backyard. It's all grass, St. Augustine. And you can see I have some spots out here in my yard. It's going through the whole entire neighborhood. And I don't really want to bring this up, but there's actually a fungus that has attacked all the St. Augustine. So every one of our people, neighbors and community out here, have had their St. Augustine attacked by this fungus. So we've already treated it. We've put peat moss down. We've done everything we're supposed to do. Oh, we put a spray on it to kill it. And that's why I have these patches in my yard, because normally it is perfect St. Augustine. And that pisses me off because I love St. Augustine. I love my grass. But so we got a little bit of wounded yard. And the front's not as bad. The back got hit pretty bad. But hopefully by treating it, that's all fixed. But anyway, I am glad that y'all joined me for this little chat. And we'll take another look at the fire before I let y'all go. Let's see how she's looking. Oh yeah, we got a good little flame. See the flame? And we might catch it down there at the bottom. I don't want to lift this off. But there's a really good flame right down there. And that's going to get us all fixed up. But like I said, this is a little time consuming, but it pays off in the end. So the only flame I've used is to light the non-toxic starter. And you don't have to use the non-toxic starter, the B&B starter. You can use a wax cube. Weber makes them. You can use newspaper. You can use a propane torch. You know, you could just put a torch in it. A lot of people do that. But I like to do it in the chimney and then move it over. Some people actually just build the fire. If you're doing a long smoke, I'll actually put all the charcoal inside my slow and sear, and then I'll put one of the little B&B starters in a corner, and you know, maybe put a wood chunk near it so it gets air, and I'll light it in there, and then it'll kind of spread from one side to the other, and that's more of a slow smoke setup. But we're going to run these wide open to burn these pits out, so that's what we're doing here. But I appreciate y'all watching. Sorry the video went a little long, but we should have roaring red coals, and you do want to keep it high like I've got it, and I do prefer to put it over a grill or like a plate so nothing falls out and burns your patio or burns a wood table. So that's why I do it like on a pit like this, or you could even put it on your Weber if you only have one. Another thing, I did have someone ask me, hey, do you think getting into a budget electric smoker is a good idea? My answer to that is no. For example, on a Weber, a plain Jane Weber, three-legged, you know, $110 Weber. You can smoke on a Weber, you can do whatever you want on a Weber. On an electric smoker, for one, you have to wag an extension cord out to wherever you're putting it. You know, you have to put the heat probe in it that's going to heat up the heating element, and then you're going to pile your charcoal on it. You're going to pile the wood chips on it, and I'm not saying they're bad, but they only kind of serve one purpose. So if you ever want to grill on it or, you know, cook burgers on it, it just doesn't work well. So you've invested that money in an electric smoker, and now you would have to buy a grill to do other things with. If you buy a kettle or something similar to a kettle, or even have one of these made, you can smoke in it. Now, this is not as great for smoking, I'll let you know. The Weber's way better. But you can smoke in a Weber. You can adjust your temp in a Weber much better. A lot of the electric smokers really don't hold temp very well. A lot of them leak around the gaskets and things like that because they're inexpensive. If you step up into a charcoal, even like a Weber bullet smoker, if you want a smoker, you can grill on those and smoke on those. It's like a three-piece design. I would recommend that or a Weber kettle way over an electric smoker. Nothing against electric. If that's what you want, get it. Yeah, I got my dog pissing in the background. Sorry about that, but you know, it is what it is. So anyway, but that's just my opinion. I wouldn't waste the money on an electric smoker. I just wouldn't do it. I would invest because you're going to outgrow it super quick. You're going to get tired of it. Wagging extension cords are not fun when you can just have your Weber and do whatever you want with it. Like I said, you can smoke brisket on a Weber, you know, pork butt. You can do steaks, I mean, chicken, whatever you want. On an electric smoker, you're just limited, more limited. But on these videos, I am going to go a little longer because I'm kind of trying to show you all different things that I do. And I'm not saying my way is the best way, so please don't take it that way. I'm not a professional. I just play that on YouTube. I'm joking. But we're just out here having a good time, a little camaraderie. And this is kind of what this channel is going to be about. You know, shooting the crap, having some drinks, doing some barbecue. And if you do want to check out my gun channel, I do have a YouTube gun channel, Big Johnson Guns and Gear. I've been doing that for quite a while. And I would love you to subscribe to this channel and that channel if you choose to. If you're not into guns, that's cool. That's why I'm going to kind of keep this one more barbecue related. Might show a gun here and there. But this one I did make non-kid friendly. Just for that reason, because I might accidentally cuss. You know, we're going to show some alcohol, some different bourbons and whiskeys. You know, and I don't want to set a bad example if you do have children. Just pre-warning you. So, not that I cuss like a sailor, because I don't. But, some could slip here and there. But I'm so glad y'all are coming along for the journey, and hope you enjoy it. And we're just going to get to it now. Also, the chimney, once you start cooking your coals, your charcoal will actually drop down. So sometimes that's when you put your charcoal in your baskets. You might even have to add some more lumps periodically, or more briquettes periodically if you're doing a longer cook. But like I said, this is strictly a burnout. I'm just burning these grills out, getting them ready for tonight. So I appreciate y'all so much. And Pit Nation, get out there and cook. Get out there and be with your family. Enjoy the outdoors. And we will, like I said, I've got a prep session where I'll show how I prep the steaks, how I season the steaks, and of course how I cook the steaks. I will let you know this. My wife does not like a medium steak. So it's going to be a little more medium well. People could really freak out, but I look at it this way. If you buy the steak, you know your temperature, eat it. I mean, I have cooked steaks for people who are like, I want them well done, and I'm just like, oh, but I myself prefer like medium, a little more pink to like a medium rare, but more on the brighter medium side, I guess you should say. I'm just not a big blood guy. I've eaten them that way, but if I'm choosing, that's just not my choice. I don't know if y'all can see it. We've got some good little red flames inside there. Might be hard to see through the holes, but we got some good stuff happening in there. See them? Got a couple of stacks, and it just works its way up. So it's working as perfectly designed. Also, just so you know, these chimneys, see how they're discoloring? You can see the discoloring already happening on the outside of that. That's normal. It will rust. I haven't seen a stainless steel one your stainless steel basket is in the bottom. The little hooks that are sticking out, those are stainless steel. You do have a grab handle on the side if it's too heavy for some people. I don't really ever use these, but that's for one hand, and the other hand you've got this, and it does have a heat shield. Heat shield's a little warm, of course, but anyway, so hope y'all enjoyed this, and this is how I use a chimney. So appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful day, and remember, hello Pit Nation. Take care, everyone.